Joyner isn't happy with where we're sitting. The light is shining in her face, and her chair is wobbling, apparently. After a bit of toing and froing with the weight over whether we should move to a different, less secluded area, we stay put, because Jo doesn't want to be overheard, leaving us wondering what kind of juicy gossip we're in for. We're here today to chat about the second series of Ackley Bridge, the primetime Channel 4 comedy drama that scored top marks last year when it pulled in more than 2 million viewers per episode. The story is centered around two Yorkshire Milltown comprehensive schools, one white, one Asian, which merge in the predominantly divided area. Jo plays careworn, straight-laced head teacher Mandy, although her own school days couldn't have been more different. "I went to a country farm school," she explains. "There was one teacher to teach years 1 to 4, all at once. He had a board in each corner of the room and he just went from one to the other, setting work. It wasn't very diverse at all. There was one Asian lad in our year and one black lad, but we had a large traveller element too, boys who would come for 3 months at a time. Some of them live near my house now. My kids get free rides whenever they want and I'm alright if I want to skip." Ackley Bridge is populated with boisterous, naughty kids who give stern Mandy a hard time, but Jo herself was pretty well behaved back in the day. Jo's Mandy Carter in Ackley Bridge. Image Channel 4. Kimberly Walsh to stir up trouble in school drama. Ackley Bridge as feisty home-wrecking netball teacher. "I was probably okay to teach, apart from being a bit of a chatterbox," she says. "But I was very moody as a teenager. I don't know how my mum put up with me." Looking back, you realize you had nothing to worry about at all. "I did have a difficult time with girls at school, though. My two best friends went down very different paths. One went to prison and the other became a lawyer who did all her cases. I'm not saying what she was in prison for, though." 4 years ago, Jo and her hubby of 11 years, Neil, moved back to the Warwickshire village she grew up in and have been doing up the house ever since. During the week, Jo's usually away filming and misses their 8-year-old twins, Edie and Freddie. "It's been tough being away from the kids so much. I've been doing virtual mothering, where I video call them every night," she says. "But they're a well-oiled machine and get on fine without me, with my parents living nearby. Plus, I'm sure the secret to a happy marriage is working away. Genuinely, I think it would be really hard to have a normal 9-to-5 life and still have stuff to talk about at the weekends. Both having your own lives is great." Jo in No Angels. Image Channel 4. After an acting career that spans 18 years, including roles in Mount Pleasant and No Angels, Jo is very much used to the limelight. But for little Edie and Freddie, it's only recently sunk in that the mum is famous. "They probably used to think that everyone spots the mum on magazine covers in the supermarket, especially when so many of our family friends are well known too. But I feel for them now, because they are really aware of how much we get whispered about when we are out and about. They'll genuinely be confused and ask, why does that man want to film us eating our spaghetti? I can't really answer it, because I don't know either." There was one incident when they were toddlers where a woman filmed us on a camcorder getting out of a swimming pool. "I didn't want to upset the kids by having a row with her, but I asked her to stop. I think it's weird and creepy." As glam Jackie and Candy Cabs. Finding the balance as a famous mum has always been tough. 5 months after having the twins, Jo went straight back to work to star in Candy Cabs, but looking back, she isn't quite sure she was ready for it. "I was on another planet when I agreed to do the job. I was so exhausted that I passed out twice," she says. I was ridiculous. We were weaning the twins and I wanted to make all the baby food myself. One morning I was batch cooking chicken and veg stews and I just suddenly thought, oh god, I'm going to faint. I must have been firing on some weird hormonal thing that made me cook 3 stews before 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday. There was, however, a pretty major perk to her role playing the uber glam Jackie. I loved being made over for the show. They used to call it putting you through the car wash. I came out with a head full of long extensions, false lashes and a spray tan every 2 days, she says. I'd get out of bed in the morning looking like Jordan. Who wouldn't want that after just having kids and wondering if you'll ever know who you are again? Neil loves it whenever I get a new part, as there's always a new flavor, a hairstyle that's nice for him. Jo is probably still best known for her 7-year stretch as long-suffering Tanya in EastEnders. She's made a couple of brief returns in the show over the years, including a rather awkward appearance in the live anniversary episode in which she called her co-star by his real name, rather than his character's. Oops. We've been told we are strictly not allowed to ask about that, so we go for a few safe enders questions instead. Does she miss playing the character she shaped over the years? Jo's Tanya with Jake Wood as Max Branning in EastEnders. Image BBC. I don't miss her. I only meant to be in it for 3 years, but then I had babies, she says. I'll always be proud of her, though. She adds the last line almost as a begrudging afterthought. Surely after so many years on the show she's got all her soapy pals on speed dial. I haven't spoken to anyone from the show for ages. Oh, right then. We asked Jo about winning an award for Best Soap Slap for that famous eye-watering, hair-swishing encounter with Lacey Turner. Did she practice in advance? I've won other awards, she says, raising an eyebrow. I've also got a Rose d'Or award for Best Female Comedy Performance, but the soap slap is the one that we should talk about. Yes, eek. It seems we've touched a nerve there, so we cheerfully ask her where she keeps all her awards. I've just unpacked them actually, as we've been having some work done. The soap awards are very heavy. I should keep mine under the bed in case of a burglar. It's like a weapon. We certainly wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of Jo and her soap award. Jo gives us the lowdown on Ackley Bridge Cannies. Soon actress Arquette Mandy, Joyner, and Emma Liz White in Ackley Bridge. Image Channel 4. My character Mandy's marriage is on the rocks, as is her school. It's a roller coaster, this series. It really seems that she and Steve can't live with her without each other. Kimberly Walsh, of Girls Aloud fame, is stirring things up as Steve's ex-wife Claire. Kim's really lovely and quite a homely girl like me, so it's strange to then have a go at her when we're filming. I love working with all the teens. It doesn't make me feel old, we just all get on really well, because I'm not as straight as complete control freak Mandy. Mandy doesn't believe that a tough home life means you can misbehave at school, and, towards the end of the series, we learn more about her own childhood and it all starts to make sense. How does Jo spend her Sunday? Weekend away or Sunday lunch at home? I work away so often that I like being at home when I can. I love an old-school English roast with my own Yorkshires. I always think if you're going to do that, you may as well do it for more than 4, so we'll have my parents or friends over. Lazy line or up with a lark. Late to bed, but early to rise too. I have a lull in the afternoon. I can't nap, but I switch off for an hour. My son and I get up easily, but my husband and my daughter could lie in for England. Hungover or fresh as a daisy. Usually hungover, I'm not going to lie. We have a very good pub near us and some good neighbors. It's a dangerous combination. What couldn't you get through the weekend without? Family. I like us all to be together, even if we're just watching a film. How did you spend last Sunday? We had a fundraiser in the village with a giant paella and rounders and football. It was boiling hot and loved it to have 7-year-old kids on teams with 70-year-olds. I realized I was really competitive. I was running like some kind of frenzied animal, and I'm still aching now. Gym a lazy day. Gym time is personal time, and I don't feel like I have any right to have it at the moment. I want to spend time with the kids. Cooked breakfast or porridge. Neither. I like avocado, chili, lime and coriander on sourdough toast with either a poached egg or crispy bacon, depending on what I have in the fridge. Ackley Bridge is on Channel 4, Tuesdays, 8 p.m.